So the infamous imaginary number. Who would have thunk? As if math isn't hard enough. Now you have to deal with imaginary numbers, numbers that don't really exist, but they do. They're mathematically impossible, yet, if you talk to an electrical engineer, occasionally they're going to have to deal with these imaginary numbers, which is mind-boggling because how could something imaginary slash mathematically not real slash impossible actually apply to something that exists? Yeah, I know. Anyways, in a nutshell, the letter I stands for imaginary number. It's your most basic of basics, equals the square root of -1. I squared equals -1. It's kind of like that theory, if you square a square root, the roots fly off. So just keep that in mind. This pre-lesson is going to be short and sweet. Just like you've been taught, the square root of 28 can be broke down into 4 and 7. You're looking for the perfect square root. That would equal 2 square root of 7. This, step 1, you would think, aha, that's impossible. By the way, this is weird, I know, but in section earlier in this trimester, you were taught no solution. That's when you didn't know about the imaginary number. So now there is a solution. And here's what you're doing. See, right now this is 100% not real. In other words, it's imaginary. So what we're going to do is make an improvement. Look at it that way, and it might help you get jump started. So what you're going to do is you are going to break this down into the square root of -1 times the square root of 28. And just like you said 4 and 7, now you're going to take the I out, essentially. And now this would be I square root of 28. Now you've got 50% real, 50% imaginary, and now this is, I look at it as an improvement. But this is not done yet, so I got the I times the square root of 4 times the square root of 7. What's the square root of 4? 2. So we're going to rearrange that and write it 2I square root of 7. Now, so technically you've got a situation where you've got that. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is this. I didn't write that very good. So we got the square root of a -4 times the square root of a -9. I know you guys have been taught this. Water, they mix. You can go ahead and multiply those. But in the world of imaginary numbers, you cannot multiply these together and get the square root of 36. And just think about it this way. It doesn't make sense that you take an imaginary number, multiply it by an imaginary number, and get a real number. So that is not the way you're going to do it. You're going to take care of this first by taking an I out. You're going to take care of that first by taking an I out. And then deal with things individually. So this is just 2 times 3, which is 6. But then I times I is I squared. What's I squared? -1. So that's 6 times -1, which is -6. So be careful for these situations. Just don't go into robotical what you used to do. Be careful on that. You can see how we got square root of 36 would have given us 6. But if we did it the right way, we get -6. So this is wrong. This is right. That's it for your pre-lesson, guys.